Subscribe to the fl0m clips and highlights so we can continue to feed Gatler ribeyes and the finest steaks in the world. All right, so the roster that was rumored to have happened actually happened. My bad. I saw that he left Falcons. I didn't see that this was completed with Aurora. Okay, cool. So Xantares, Woxic, Wicadia, Jimpat, kyxsan, Ash. It's a sad day, boys, because like we lost the full Turkish lineup. So just like F's in the chat, I like having teams from one region, one country, whatever you want to say. Like it's a sad day. Like it is. From that standpoint, I thought it was really cool. I know not everybody necessarily was like huge Aurora fans, but it was still unique and cool to have in the scene. And always a nice, like, it was, I don't know. Yeah, it was just cool to see, man. Now, Jimpat, I think, is an upgrade over Soulfly, although I don't think Soulfly was the issue. And I do think kyxsan is an upgrade over Major. That being said, I think that a big issue for this team going forward is still going to be team environment. I think Woxic tries to be positive. I think Xantares is blatantly, obviously, like tilting in a lot of the games. And I think Wicadia, unfortunately, starting to pick up after Xantares a little bit. Now, let's just get that out of the way. But I do feel like that's like one knock against this roster. The other big knock against this roster is I believe Woxic in an interview, like I think it was Blast. It was Woxic, I think, in the interview was talking about how they were practicing calling in English. And I can't remember why. Maybe it was because of something like this in the future, whatever. But he basically talked about how like they could, but it was just like kind of going genuinely like terrible. So I think the comms in this team are going to be very interesting. Like that, there's really no other way to put it. The communication of this team is going to be probably their number one problem. And you throw in some goofy vibes, or maybe it's not the best, and some poor communication. That is a really. It's not that this team is going to suck. It's just that my issue with Aurora is that they would play really well when things that they thought like were supposed to happen, and they were in the driver's seat, and then they would completely collapse a lot of the time when they would lose rounds they're not supposed to, and when things started going, not according to script. I have like no issue thinking that like kyxsan and Ash can work together with an international squad and have a really good team doing a lot of good things. But Counter-Strike has evolved to being like your team, everybody's gonna lose stupid rounds because everybody's so talented, nerves, pressure, whatever. Like, it's about what teams actually can continue to move forward and manifest rounds in some of those dire situations to win games. And whoever does that most consistently, like, wins. Falcons, Vitality more so than Falcons more recently, but like this ability to basically battle back into games is super important. And so what I'm trying to say is I feel like Aurora, because of the language and because of how many new pieces they're going to have, I just feel like at least for now, at least temporarily in the short term, I feel like they're going to kind of be the same, I think. But if they can maintain themselves and not like completely implode the roster, I do think that like in a few months this roster could be very, very interesting, like truly a top 10 team at all times, which is where they already kind of were. But I think like battling closer to top 5, I think they could, if they can get past that like initial it's going to be a bit of a clusterfuck, and I just think it's going to collapse in a lot of scenarios. If they can just get past that and work through it, I think this team could be really good. This team individually is super strong. Wicadia to me is the biggest breakout, and Xantares, as long as he gets his form somewhat decent to where he's capable, and Wicadia continues to kind of like push forward, now we're talking. This team could actually be really dangerous, like super duper dangerous. I like it. So I like the roster. I can see the idea. I just know where the problems lie, and we're not going to really know what's happening with that until like a few months from now. So it's a bold move from Aurora. I'm sad that we lost the Turkish team. I feel like this team individually has the right players, but it's going to come down to this communication blunder, and can they form sort of like some mental resilience out of this roster with the personalities that they have on the roster. That's going to be it. Let me know. Let me know in the comments if you guys think like, are they going to peak at like top 10, or you think they could peak or push into top 5?